The story began not with a weapon, nor with a war, but with silence. On a quiet night in the high mountains of South America, a group of scientists sat inside an observatory, staring at their data screens. They had been studying fragments of human DNA, mapping the history of humanity. Most of the time, the patterns were simple: birth, death, survival. But this time, something was wrong. Dr. Elaine Carter leaned closer to the monitor. She had spent her life studying evolution, but what she saw now made her chest tighten. The graph showed a sudden collapse in population almost 900,000 years ago. Impossible, she whispered. At that time, humanity had nearly vanished. Almost every human on Earth disappeared within a short window. A handful survived, just enough to rebuild, but no record explained how or why. Her assistant, a young researcher named Malik, frowned. It looks like 99% of humanity was gone in less than 1,000 years. No natural disaster could do this. That was the hook. The beginning of a mystery so old it had been forgotten. For weeks, Elaine and Malik dug deeper. The fossil record showed strange gaps. Civilizations that should have left traces were missing. Entire generations had vanished as if someone had erased them. Even stranger were the ruins they found hidden beneath the sands of the Sahara. Massive stone chambers built with techniques no tribe of that era should have known. Inside, carvings showed stars, constellations not seen from Earth but from deep space. This doesn't make sense, Malik whispered as he traced the lines with his flashlight.
It's like...
They knew the sky from another place, but the strangest discovery came not from ruins, but from the sky itself. Late one night, while scanning radio waves from the edge of the solar system, the observatory's receiver picked up something unnatural. A repeating signal, faint but structured. The frequency was steady, almost like a heartbeat. When translated into sound, it was chilling, like a low metallic hum mixed with static, repeating every 12 seconds. Elaine's hands shook as she listened. This is not random. Someone is transmitting. The message was old. Perhaps as old as the catastrophe itself. What Elaine and Malik didn't know was that far away, light years from Earth, an alien council was already watching them. The chamber was vast, lit with cold blue fire. Around a circular table sat creatures of many forms, scaled, winged, armored, and shadowed. They were the inheritors of an ancient empire. They had long believed humanity's near extinction was permanent. To them, Earth was a closed chapter, a failed species, but now humans were beginning to rediscover the truth. One alien, with silver skin and 3 burning eyes, slammed a clawed hand on the table. They were supposed to be erased. The cleansing ensured their numbers would never rise again. Another tall and insect-like hissed. Yet they endure. Always they endure. The council fell silent as a hologram shimmered in the center of the table. It showed Earth, blue, fragile, alive. They must not be allowed to uncover what happened, said the eldest alien, his voice low and bitter. If they learn the truth, they will remember who they were, and who we are. For the first time in hundreds of thousands of years, the council moved against Earth. Back at the observatory, Elaine stared out the window at the stars. Something inside her felt wrong, as if unseen eyes were already upon her. She didn't know why, but her instincts screamed that their discovery had awakened something beyond Earth. The following week, Earth's telescopes began to detect strange disturbances near Neptune. At first, scientists thought it was a cluster of comets or asteroids. But as the days passed, the shapes grew clearer. They were not comets, they were ships, vast, city-sized warships moving in perfect formation, their hulls glowing with symbols no human had ever seen. The ghost fleet, silent and ancient, was returning one by one. The alien warships slipped into the solar system, their shadows blotting out the stars. Elaine's final words before the signal cut echoed across the control room. "They're here." And then the feed went dark. A massive alien warship fleet appears near the edge of the solar system. The arrival of the alien fleet was not an accident. It was a decision. And that decision was made inside the oldest chamber in the galaxy, The Council of Shadows. The chamber was carved from black stone older than Earth itself. Around a circular table floated 13 beings, each from a different species, each carrying the weight of 1,000 wars. These were the rulers of an empire that stretched across star systems. For ages, they had believed humanity to be broken, erased, reduced to a species that would never rise again. But now, the humans had begun to remember. The meeting began in silence. A hologram of Earth hovered in the center, its oceans glowing blue, its continents outlined by thin silver light. But beside Earth hung a new image, the signal Elaine Carter had uncovered. The pulsing metallic hum, the reminder. The alarm! They found it, hissed Lord Kashai, a tall insectoid creature with blades for arms. His mandibles clicked with fury. After so long, the humans dare to touch the forgotten wound. A reptilian warlord slammed his scaled fist on the table. We agreed they were broken. They were finished. Their extinction was almost complete. How do they still endure? From the shadows, a calm voice answered. It belonged to the eldest counselor, a being wrapped in flowing silver cloth, its face hidden by a mask of bone. Because they are human, the voice whispered. And humans are not like the others. The council fell into argument. Some demanded immediate destruction. Others warned that open war would wake powers even they feared. But none could deny the truth. The near eradication of humanity, hundreds of thousands of years ago, had not been complete. A tall, bird-like alien leaned forward, feathers shimmering in cold light. We must never forget why we tried to erase them. Do you recall what they were capable of? They fought fleets larger than stars. They resisted extinction even when their skies burned. Another answered bitterly, yes, and that is why we must finish what we began. If humans rediscover their past, if they find what was left behind, we will not survive the next war. One by one, their faces turned to the hologram. Earth glowed, fragile but defiant. The masked elder raised a claw. Then it is decided. The ghost fleet will move into position. Earth will be tested once more. At that command, the shadows around the chamber shifted. From the darkness, smaller holograms appeared. Rows of alien warships, their shapes jagged and colossal, engines burning like dying suns. The fleet had been hidden in silence for centuries, waiting for this order, but the council was not united. A single voice rose against them. A pale, luminous alien, with eyes like liquid fire, spoke softly, "Do you not see the danger? Every time we try to erase them, they return stronger. We are making the same mistake our ancestors made. We fear them, and by fearing them, we make them powerful." The chamber grew tense. The councillors stared. No one had dared speak like this in centuries. Lord Kashai leaned forward, blades scraping the stone. "Are you suggesting mercy?" "I'm suggesting survival," the glowing alien replied. "Do not forget, our last war with them nearly destroyed us." The chamber erupted in fury. Voices shouted, wings beat, claws struck the table. But the decision had already been made. The ghost fleet was moving. While the council debated, Earth scientists struggled to explain the strange signals near Neptune. To the public, governments called it space debris or comet fragments, but behind closed doors, military leaders prepared fleets. In hidden bunkers, human soldiers trained harder than ever. Old warships were pulled from storage. 1,000 satellites were repositioned, trying to track the approaching objects. And yet, no human leader could admit the truth aloud. These were not comets. They were ships. Dr. Elaine Carter sat in the observatory, staring at the frozen images on her monitor. The massive alien shapes, sharp and unnatural, glowed faintly against the black of space. "Warships," she whispered. "They're warships." Malik shook his head. "But from where? Who would even know we exist?" Elaine turned to him, her face pale. "I don't think they ever forgot us. I think they're the reason we almost vanished before." At that very moment, far out beyond Neptune, the first of the alien warships shifted. Its engines flared, blue fire stretching across the void. Slowly, the fleet began to move, not drifting, not wandering, but aiming toward Earth. Inside the lead vessel, alien captains watched holograms of human cities, seas, and skies. Their orders were simple: erase them. This time, erase them completely, and with that, the Ghost Fleet crossed the edge of the solar system, blotting out the stars. Earth's fate sealed as alien fleet begins moving directly toward the inner planets. The night sky above Earth was calm, but deep in the black beyond Neptune, something vast was moving. The Ghost Fleet had entered the solar system. For weeks, humanity had argued about what the strange shapes were: asteroids, comets, even lost satellites. But now the truth could no longer be hidden. The fleet had stopped drifting. It had changed direction. It was moving with purpose, toward Earth. In a war room beneath the United Nations headquarters, generals and scientists sat in tense silence. Screens lit the room with images taken by telescopes and satellites. Each picture showed the same thing: warships larger than cities, their hulls covered in glowing runes, engines burning with blue fire. General Harris of the Earth Defense Command slammed his fist on the table. "This is no natural phenomenon. These are ships. Someone out there has been waiting. And now they're coming for us." Dr. Elaine Carter, pale but steady, stepped forward. She placed a graph on the screen. "I believe this is connected to the population collapse almost 900,000 years ago. Humanity didn't almost die from nature. We were almost erased by them." The room went silent. Every leader, every soldier, every scientist knew the truth. The Ghost Fleet had come once before, and they had failed. Now they were back to finish what they started. In orbit around Earth, the international fleet scrambled to prepare. Old warships, relics from forgotten conflicts, were dragged out of storage and repaired. Pilots trained day and night, while engineers worked without rest. But compared to the alien armada, Earth's ships looked like insects. "They're too big," whispered Malik, staring at the data feed from the observatory. "Our ships are nothing against them." Elaine didn't answer. Her eyes were locked on the latest signal. For the first time, the Ghost Fleet had spoken. It was not a voice, not words, but a deep metallic vibration carried across space. When decoded, it formed a chilling sentence: "We failed to erase you once. This time you will not escape." The message repeated in dozens of languages, as if the aliens had studied Earth long ago. Every government received it. Every fleet commander heard it. Even ordinary citizens caught fragments on hacked radio waves. Panic spread across the world. At the edge of the solar system, the alien ships formed into a vast crescent shape. Their engines glowed brighter, their weapons hummed with energy. From the deck of Earth's largest warship, the EDS Resolute, Captain Mara Kaito watched the alien fleet through her forward window. She had faced pirates, rebels, and even rogue AIs, but nothing compared to this. "Send them a message," she ordered. A young officer nodded. "What do we say?" Mara stared at the endless black, at ships that dwarfed her own. "Tell them this is Earth. Tell them we will not bow." The message was sent. For long minutes there was no reply. Then, without warning, the alien flagship lit up. A beam of crimson light cut across the void, passing just a few kilometers from the Resolute. Space itself seemed to shatter around it. It was not an attack. It was a warning. "They're playing with us," Mara whispered. "They want us afraid." Back on Earth, the alien council watched through hidden relays. The masked elder studied the defiance of Earth's warships and shook his head. They still resist. Even knowing they cannot win, they raise their fleets. Always the same mistake. But the glowing alien who had spoken against destruction whispered softly, "Or perhaps," always the same strength. The council shifted uneasily. Even among their enemies, the resilience of humanity unsettled them. At Neptune's orbit, the Ghost Fleet moved again. This time not in silence. This time, weapons began to glow along their colossal hulls. Earth's telescopes captured the terrifying sight, hundreds of alien cannons charging with energy, each one strong enough to shatter a city. On the bridge of the Resolute, alarms blared. The captain's voice cut through the chaos. "They're preparing to fire." The stars lit up with alien firepower, the first strike of a war humanity had nearly lost once before. And now, the battle was about to begin again. Alien warships charge weapons. preparing the first strike against Earth's defenses. The first alien strike never hit Earth. At the last second, the Ghost Fleet pulled back its cannons. They were testing, measuring humanity's response, watching, waiting, but even as war loomed, a discovery beneath the sands of Earth would change everything. Deep in the Sahara Desert, a team of archaeologists dug through layers of rock and sand. For weeks, they had followed strange readings on their instruments, metal buried where no human civilization should have existed. Finally, the sand gave way to stone. The team uncovered a vast doorway, carved into black rock that shimmered under the desert sun. Strange symbols glowed faintly across its surface, almost alive. Dr. Malik brushed away the sand and froze. "Elaine, these markings, they're the same as the ones on the alien ships." Elaine Carter's heart pounded. "That's impossible. This site is hundreds of thousands of years old." The doorway opened with a low rumble, releasing a breath of air trapped for ages. Inside lay a massive chamber, its walls lined with carvings, and in the center, a ship. It was not a simple vessel. It was enormous, sleek, and unlike anything humans could build today. Its hull was scarred, as if it had survived battles long forgotten. Dust covered its surface, but faint golden lines still glowed, pulsing softly like veins of light. The scientists walked slowly around it, their footsteps echoing. Carvings on the walls showed humans, ancient primitive humans, standing beside the ship. Some carvings even showed those humans in battle, fighting against towering alien shapes. Elaine whispered, "This proves it. Humanity was in the stars before. They fought, and almost won." Malik's voice trembled. "But if they had ships like this, why did they fall? What erased them?" At that moment, a console at the base of the ship flickered to life. Holograms burst into the air, grainy images of giant fleets colliding in space, human warships battling alien titans. The last recording showed a desperate retreat, followed by one chilling message spoken in an ancient human tongue. The translator struggled, then produced a broken phrase, "We almost won. Do not fail as we did." Far away in the depths of space, the Alien Council received word of the discovery. An alien spy drone, hidden among Earth's satellites, had captured images of the uncovered ship and transmitted them back. Lord Kashai hissed with fury. "They've found the ruins. If they awaken those ships, they will rise again." The glowing alien, the one who had spoken of mercy before, stared silently at the projection. Its voice was calm but heavy. Perhaps they were never meant to fall. The chamber filled with argument, but one truth was clear. The Ghost Fleet could not allow Earth to claim its forgotten power. The order was given. Strike teams would be sent. The ruins must be destroyed before humans could uncover more. Elaine and Malik rushed to record everything before military forces sealed the site. The chamber shook as generators powered up, bringing the ancient ship closer to life. For a moment, the golden lines along its hull flared brighter, as if responding to their presence. A soldier nearby gasped. "It's waking up," but before they could do more, alarms screamed. Satellites detected incoming objects from orbit. Small but fast. Dropships. "They're coming for us," Malik said, panic in his voice. Elaine looked back at the glowing ship. For the first time, she felt something strange, like a connection, as if the ship itself was alive and aware of her. She whispered, "We're not alone. Not anymore." Above the Sahara, fire streaked across the night sky. Alien dropships pierced the atmosphere, heading straight for the ruins. Their mission was clear: destroy the evidence, silence humanity, and bury the truth forever. In the chamber below, the ancient ship's golden lines flared so brightly they lit the entire cavern. Dust rained from the ceiling. The ground shook, the ship was waking, and the Ghost Fleet was almost upon them. Ancient human warship begins to awaken just as alien strike forces descend on Earth. The Sahara Desert burned with falling fire. Alien dropships streaked through the sky, their hulls glowing red as they pierced the atmosphere. They were not coming to conquer. They were coming to erase. Beneath the sand in the hidden chamber, the ancient human ship pulsed with golden light. Its heartbeat echoed through the stone, as if it recognized its descendants. But the soldiers who had come to guard the ruins knew the aliens would not let it awaken. This was not just a dig site anymore. It was a battlefield. Captain Aaron Vale stood at the mouth of the chamber, rifle in hand, watching the fireballs descend. His squad of Earth Defense soldiers lined up beside him, nervous but steady. They were trained for war, but none of them had ever faced this. Vale's comms crackled. "Captain, incoming contact. Multiple hostiles inbound. 20 seconds to ground impact." He glanced back at Dr. Elaine Carter and Malik, who were still studying the glowing ship. "You've got 10 minutes. Make them count?" Elaine's voice shook. "If this ship wakes, it could change everything." Vale nodded grimly. "Then we'll make sure it does." The first alien dropship slammed into the sand with a thunderous roar. Their doors hissed open and armored figures stepped out. They were tall, reptilian, their scaled bodies encased in black metal armor that shimmered with alien energy. Each carried a weapon that glowed with crackling plasma. The soldiers of Earth had seen strange things before, pirates, AI uprisings, even rogue mercenaries, but nothing like this. These were the executioners of an ancient war, returned to finish their task. "Open fire," Vale shouted. The desert erupted with gunfire. Human bullets rattled against alien shields, sparks spraying across the sand. Plasma bolts shot back, scorching the dunes into glass. The air filled with smoke, screams, and the roar of engines. Inside the chamber, Elaine and Malik frantically translated the holograms left by the vanished ancestors. One image showed the same aliens now attacking outside. Another showed humanity's fleets clashing with them in orbit, but the last image froze Elaine's blood. It showed Earth burning, and below it, words scratched into the stone, "Beware the betrayer." As Malik tried to decipher the phrase, the ancient ship pulsed again. Its golden veins lit up brighter, casting beams of light across the chamber. A deep hum shook the walls. "Elaine." Malik gasped. "It's responding to us." Her eyes widened. "No, not us. Humanity." Above them, Vale and his soldiers held the line, but the aliens were pressing closer. Plasma blasts tore through human defenses. One soldier fell, then another. The sky itself seemed to burn as more dropships descended. Vale fired until his rifle overheated, then drew his sidearm. His face was grim but unshaken. "Hold the line!" "We don't run here." The alien commander, towering and armored, stepped forward. His voice boomed across the battlefield, translated through hidden technology. "You should not exist. You should have perished when the stars burned. This time we will erase you completely." Vale spat into the sand. "Then come and try." The holograms flickered again. Elaine saw flashes of human soldiers from the past, men and women standing in ruined cities, holding ancient weapons, their faces grim but proud. A final recording echoed through the chamber in a broken, ancient voice. "We almost won. If you are hearing this, we failed, but you must not. Rise, soldiers of extinction. Rise and endure." The golden veins of the ship pulsed like lightning. A low rumble filled the cavern as dust rained from the ceiling. Malik's eyes went wide. "Elaine." "It's waking." Outside, Vale watched as the alien commander raised his weapon, a massive blade glowing with plasma fire. The ground itself seemed to tremble under its heat. Then, from beneath the sand, a roar shook the battlefield. The ancient ship's hull burst through the stone, golden light flooding the desert night. The aliens froze, their eyes wide with shock. For the first time in ages, they saw the ship of the vanished ancestors rise again. Vale's comm crackled with Elaine's voice. "Captain." "It's alive," the alien commander snarled, his eyes glowing red. "Destroy it, now!" And the battlefield erupted into chaos. The ancient ship awakens as alien soldiers try to destroy it. The golden light of the ancient ship lit the desert like a false sunrise. Its hull cracked open as if breathing for the first time in nearly 1,000,000 years. The hum of ancient power made even the air vibrate. Soldiers on both sides froze, stunned by the impossible sight, but not everyone was shocked. Somewhere in the shadows, one man wasn't afraid at all. He was smiling, General Marcus Kane stood on a ridge far from the main battlefield. His uniform bore the insignia of Earth's Defense Command, but his loyalty had long been bought and broken. Through his visor, he watched the chaos unfold. The aliens clashing with veiled soldiers, the ancient ship awakening, the desert shaking with fury. He tapped a small device hidden under his sleeve. A red light blinked. "Council," he whispered into the transmitter. "It has begun. Humanity will not rise again." A distorted alien voice crackled back. "Do your part, Kane. Ensure the ship does not leave this world. Then your reward will come." Back on the battlefield, Captain Vale rallied his dwindling squad. The ancient ship's golden glow gave them hope, but it also made them a target. The alien commander barked orders, his soldiers pressing harder, desperate to destroy the vessel before it could fully awaken. Inside the chamber, Elaine and Malik struggled to stabilize the awakening systems. The ship was alive but unstable, its power surging wildly, threatening to tear the chamber apart. "Elaine!" Malik shouted over the roar. "It needs guidance. Someone has to interface with it." She hesitated. "Interface? With alien technology?" "No," Malik said, his eyes locked on the glowing console. "It's not alien. It's ours. It's human." Meanwhile, high above Earth, alien warships shifted their formation. The fleet at the edge of the solar system began to move inward. The alien council had made their choice. Humanity was too close to the truth. They would burn the planet again if they had to, but they were not the only ones preparing. Deep in orbit, Earth's hidden fleet stirred. Massive carriers and warships built in secret began to power up their engines. Humanity was not as weak as the Council believed. General Kane entered the command bunker of the Earth defense grid. His clearance codes opened every door. Inside, officers scrambled to coordinate reinforcements for Vale's team. They barely noticed Kane moving toward the core systems. He pulled out a small black device, a shard of alien tech humming with dangerous energy. One officer finally spotted him. "General? What are you—" Kane drew his sidearm and fired. The officer dropped instantly. Silence filled the room as the others stared in horror. Kane's face was stone. "Humanity cannot be trusted with what sleeps beneath this desert. We almost destroyed the galaxy once. I will not let us try again." He pressed the device against the defense grid console. Red tendrils of alien code spread across the screens, shutting down communications and redirecting orbital defenses. Instead of targeting the alien fleet, Earth's weapons began locking onto the desert. Elaine pressed her hands against the glowing console. Symbols flickered across its surface, shifting into words she could almost read. The ship wasn't just technology. It was memory. It was alive. Images flashed in her mind. Ancient soldiers, war fleets burning through the stars, human commanders making impossible choices. And then, one final memory. A traitor standing among them, a man who had helped the aliens before. Her blood ran cold. Malik. There was a betrayer in the past. Malik looked up sharply. Then maybe there's one now. Outside, Vale and his squad were pushed to their limits. Plasma fire rained down. The alien commander's blade cut through the sand like molten fire. Vale barely managed to block with a shield generator, but his defenses were failing. Then his comm crackled to life. "Captain Vale, this is command. Orbital strike inbound. Evacuate immediately." Vale's eyes widened. "Orbital strike? On us." He looked up. The night sky above the desert glowed red. Earth's own defense satellites were charging their weapons, targeting the chamber, targeting the ancient ship, targeting him and his men. "Command, you got the wrong coordinates," Vale shouted, but the line went dead. Elaine's voice burst through the comm, panicked. "Captain, it's not a mistake. Someone's betrayed us. They're going to erase the ship." And thus, Vale stared at the burning sky. His squad looked to him for answers. He raised his rifle, his jaw set. "Then we fight every enemy, alien or human, until the last breath." Above them, Earth's orbital weapons lit up, preparing to fire, and in the shadows, General Kane whispered, "Extinction begins again." Earth's own weapons are about to obliterate the ancient ship and everyone near it because of General Kane's betrayal. The night sky burned. Red beams of light streaked across the heavens as Earth's own orbital weapons charged to fire. The alien fleet at the edge of the solar system closed in, forming a wall of firepower that could drown the planet. And beneath the desert, the ancient ship pulsed brighter, as though it could sense its own execution. Humanity stood on the edge of annihilation for the second time in history. Captain Vale stared upward, his helmet visor reflecting the deadly glow of the satellites. "They're targeting us," he muttered. His soldiers shifted nervously, caught between alien warriors advancing from the dunes and Earth's own defenses above. Vale slammed his fist against his comm. "Command, this is Vale. Abort the strike, do you hear me? You'll kill us all." Only static answered. Inside the chamber, Elaine clung to the console of the awakening ship. Her voice broke through the comms, urgent and terrified. "Vale, it's not command. It's sabotage. Someone has turned our weapons against us." Vale's gut twisted. He didn't need her to say the name. He already knew. Kane, the alien commander, raised his plasma blade, shouting to his soldiers in a guttural tongue. Their armored forms advanced through smoke and fire, determined to reach the golden ship. Vale raised his rifle. "Hold the line! Nobody touches that ship." The desert exploded in chaos. Human gunfire tore through the dark. Plasma bolts lit the dunes. Explosions shook the sand. The air was thick with heat, dust, and the metallic taste of blood, but the real battle was above. In Earth's orbit, hidden fleets broke formation. For years, humanity had prepared for the possibility of alien return. Now their massive carriers and destroyers revealed themselves, engines blazing, weapons charging. They intercepted the alien fleet, unleashing volleys of missiles and particle beams. The void became a storm of warships, human fleets clashing with alien armadas. Earth's defense grid corrupted, firing blindly into the fray. From the desert, Vale and his soldiers could see the streaks of fire in the sky. Humanity's war had begun. Inside the Earth defense bunker, General Marcus Kane stood calm as chaos spread across the command center. Officers screamed, systems overloaded, orbital defenses tore into both friend and foe. Kane didn't care. He pressed his palm against the alien device, whispering into his comm. "Council, the ship will be destroyed. Humanity's fleets cannot stop extinction." The alien voice answered with cold satisfaction. "You have done well, traitor. History will forget your name, but it will not forget your service." Kane smiled grimly. "I don't care if they curse me, as long as they never rise again." But his smile faded when one officer, bleeding but defiant, crawled toward the console. With his last breath, the officer slammed a bypass code into the system. The alien device faltered, its red tendrils shrinking for a moment. Kane snarled, kicking the dying man aside. He didn't notice that his sabotage had left a gap, a narrow chance for Vale and Elaine to fight back. The ship's console flared as Elaine pressed deeper into its systems. Her hands trembled, but the holograms guided her. "Malik, it's giving me access to weapons." Malik's eyes went wide. "Weapons like—" The chamber shook violently as part of the desert collapsed, revealing a massive cannon buried beneath the sands. Golden light surged through it like veins of fire. Elaine gasped. "It's not just a ship. It's a fortress." Vale's voice cracked through the comm, strained but fierce. "Then wake it up, Doc!" "Because we're dying out here." The alien commander closed in, cutting through Vale's defenses. Plasma scorched the sand as Vale rolled, barely avoiding the blade. His squad fought like wolves, but the aliens pressed harder with every passing second. Above, the first orbital strike fired. A beam of red energy shot downward, splitting the desert in two. The blast threw sand, fire, and bodies into the air. Vale's helmet cracked, his ears rang, but he forced himself back to his feet. He looked toward the chamber. The golden fortress was rising, but slowly. "Too slowly! Elaine!" he shouted. "We don't have time!" Inside the chamber, Elaine stared at the console. A final choice blinked before her eyes. Engage full awakening sequence. Earth defense override required. Her heart pounded. She needed a code, something that only Earth's highest generals had. Above, the satellites powered for a second strike. Alien fleets poured toward Earth. Human warships fought desperately, breaking under the strain. Vale staggered back, cornered by the alien commander. The plasma blade rose for the killing strike, and in the bunker, General Kane leaned closer to the alien device, his hand glowing red with its energy. Elaine whispered into the comm, desperate. "Vale, I need a code. Without it, the ship won't fire." Vale dodged, bloodied, exhausted, his eyes blazing with defiance. "Then steal it. Steal it from the traitor." The console flickered, showing Kane's face as if the ship itself knew. Elaine froze. "Oh my God, it's him." And as the orbital strike charged above, the alien commander swung his blade down toward Vale's chest. Elaine realizes Kane is the betrayer, and the only one with the code to activate the fortress, while Vale faces certain death. The desert glowed red from the sky above. Earth's own satellites were seconds from unleashing another orbital strike. Alien fleets pressed in from the void. On the sands below, human soldiers fought tooth and nail to keep their ground. And inside the ancient chamber, Elaine Carter stared at the console, her hands trembling. The fortress was ready to awaken. But it needed one final piece, a code. A code only a traitor possessed. Elaine's voice cracked over the comm. "Vale, I can't finish it without Kane's override. The ship won't fire." Captain Vale was barely standing. His rifle smoked empty, his armor cracked. Across from him, the alien commander loomed. Plasma blade raised for the kill. Vale spat blood into the sand. "Then take it from him, Doc, no matter what it costs." The blade came down. Vale rolled, the heat of the weapon scorching the air where he had been. He came up swinging his combat knife, sparks flying as steel met plasma. The two locked eyes, human defiance against alien fury. In the Earth defense bunker, General Marcus Kane grinned at the chaos. Through the alien device, he watched the battlefield burn. Soon, the ancient fortress would be destroyed, and with it, the last chance for humanity to rise. But the fortress was watching him too. Golden light spilled across the console before Elaine. Symbols reshaped, forming an image. Kane's face, his biometric signature, his command codes. Malik gasped. "Elaine, it's showing us everything. It's pulling it from him." Elaine's hands flew over the holograms. "It's not locked to loyalty. It's locked to authority. If the ship sees Kane as commander, then I can steal his command." Her heart pounded. It was a race against extinction. In orbit, the war turned into chaos. Human fleets clashed with alien armadas in brutal close combat. Massive warships rammed each other, tearing open in silent explosions that lit the black void. Earth's corrupted satellites rained fire down indiscriminately, scorching deserts, oceans, and skies. Cities shook with panic as humanity faced destruction from above and below. Admiral Reyes, commanding one of Earth's hidden carriers, growled into her comm. "If that fortress doesn't come online in 30 seconds, this war is over. Push everything we've got." Her fleet surged forward, buying time with blood and steel. Back on the sand, Vale's knife shattered against the alien commander's blade. The weapon cut across his side, searing flesh. He dropped to one knee, gasping, but still raised his sidearm. "You'll never erase us," Vale growled. The alien commander's eyes glowed like burning suns. "You are already erased. This is just the last sweep of ash." The plasma blade rose again. At that exact second, Elaine shouted, "Vale, I've got it." She slammed her hands onto the console. Golden light erupted across the chamber, shooting upward like a beacon. The fortress roared awake, its buried cannons rising from the sands, its hull breaking free in a shower of dust and fire. The alien commander froze, his blade inches from Vale's chest. For the first time, he looked afraid. The fortress rose into the desert night, colossal and terrible. Golden cannons turned upward, locking onto the corrupted satellites. Elaine's voice filled every human comm. "This is not alien tech. This is our inheritance. This is humanity's shield, and it's ours to command." The cannons fired. Beams of pure golden energy tore into the sky, shattering satellite after satellite. Explosions rained like dying stars. The orbital strike was stopped. Above Earth, human fleets roared in triumph. The fortress shifted again, its power extending into orbit, blasting alien warships apart in massive bursts of light. The tide of battle had turned. Humanity was no longer prey. Humanity was fire. On the sands, Vale forced himself to his feet. The alien commander swung again, but Vale caught the blade on a shimmering golden shield. Energy fed directly from the fortress itself. He smiled through bloodied teeth. "Guess what? We're not so easy to kill." With a roar, he drove his sidearm into the alien's chest and pulled the trigger. The commander staggered back, his armor cracking, his blade flickering out. He fell into the sand with a final, disbelieving hiss. The battlefield went silent for one heartbeat. Then human soldiers raised their rifles and screamed in defiance. In the bunker, Kane watched the fortress awaken. His jaw tightened as he realized his plan had failed. He lifted the alien device, rage burning in his eyes, but the fortress was already watching him. A golden beam cut through the bunker ceiling, vaporizing the alien device in Kane's hands. The general screamed, thrown backward into the dark. Elaine's voice was cold as steel. "Betrayers have no place in our future." The alien fleet, broken and burning, retreated into the void. Humanity's warships pursued, their engines blazing like avenging angels. On the desert floor, Vale collapsed, his soldiers rushing to his side. Elaine and Malik emerged from the chamber, the glow of the fortress behind them. Vale looked up at them, his voice weak but steady. "So we rise again?" Elaine nodded, her eyes filled with awe. "Not just rise, this time we endure." Above them, the fortress spread its wings of golden light, a monument to forgotten battles and a promise to the future. But in the far reaches of space, the alien council watched in silence. Their faces were grim, their eyes cold. One whispered the words that froze the chamber: "Humanity remembers." The war begins again. The screen cut to black. Humanity wins the battle with the ancient fortress, but the alien council promises the war is far from over, leaving a massive,